Hey Leamons, welcome back to another video of mine. So, the title. Yes, I know, I've covered Animal Jam HQ and their company WildWorks critically in a lot of my videos now. It's not that uncommon for me to make videos on them in this light. And you may even think, why do it so often? I've obviously gotten the point across by now. Well, yeah, I probably have gotten the idea around that Animal Jam has done some bad things either in the game or to their players, and we all might know that they aren't the best company by now. But that's not the point of these videos. You see, Animal Jam HQ continues to surprise us with new, terrible things every so often. Actually, to be honest, it's not even a surprise to see bad things happening anymore. Sadly, I've grown accustomed to seeing negative things alongside Animal Jam HQ's name and reputation. No matter how many videos I make on them, there will always be some sort of current Animal Jam HQ issues going on, ones that are deserving of videos. And that is why, yes, I do make lots of videos centered around Animal Jam HQ and their company WildWorks in a negative mannerism, although in my opinion there's always room to talk about the issues, and especially if the issue with their game can be critiqued or fixed in some way, shape, or form. When I think about Animal Jam, I don't despise the game as many of you might assume from me. If anything, I think it's a fun game from my childhood, one that's gone down a series of terrible events and actions made by the people in charge of the game. And I should mention, Animal Jam likely has some great staff on their team, ones that aren't as acclaimed or above to speak up about ongoing issues in the game, in ways that they can help improve the game. I truly believe this. I think most of the issues are arising from the people fully in charge of the game. Those are the people who have to keep it safe, make it have a good reputation, and not expose information loosely from a low security system through a data breach. That last one was oddly specific, but for a good reason. That was a disaster. But in general, it's usually the people above that make the bigger decisions for the game. Decisions that are most definitely not always good ones. And well, some of you might already know, but WildWorks, the company that created Animal Jam, has sold their game to another company called Nazra. Lots of people were scared for Animal Jam's future, and many people were hopeful, me included. I mean, Animal Jam was already getting to a point of a downfall. I thought a new company might be beneficial. And for the first little while, nothing huge seemed to happen, so I didn't think much about anything. Honestly, I forgot they even sold the game to Nazra. But there's been some issues going on as the days went by, ones I'm not happy about, ones that in my opinion leave Animal Jam's name and reputation as unprofessional. I think Animal Jam is an unprofessional company. Before we jump into things, I just want to remind you all of my merch. Whether it's a gift to yourself or a gift to others, it would make a great Christmas gift this year. My store is always linked in my videos. Alright, so now I'm going to start discussing some of the issues and blunders Animal Jam has been making. These can range from small to huge. I'm kind of just compacting a bunch of these together. Like, some of these aren't even too bad. I'm just listing stuff that's happened since they sold their game. And not really in any certain order either. I won't really get into much that I've previously talked about in other videos, unless it's worthy of a brief mention, of course. That's due to them just being the same old information restated. So if you don't hear me talk about something Animal Jam did in the past that was bad, then that's likely why. Anyways, let's get on with this video. First of all, this one isn't actually bad, but a lot of people thought this was really annoying. Basically, they had changed the name in the App Store to Animal Jam Virtual Pet Design. I already covered this in a video, but basically, I believe it's to reach more audiences for marketing purposes in their game. Like, if someone searches up pets or virtual, then it will likely pop up more, and hopefully attracts people to their game. Again, it's not actually anything inherently wrong, just was an annoying choice for a few people in the game, and I thought I'd mention it as it did happen after the company was sold. Next one is something I noticed, and it's still kind of new, so I don't want to bash it too much. Basically, that's the reskins they seem to be bringing to the game. But it's not even along with another animal. Like, the reskins are the new animal for the month, and I don't really like that, since it's practically the exact same animal, but a slightly altered pattern, with some slight details following the animal around. I was okay with the spring bunny because it was free, and more importantly, it's not like another reskin came the month after the spring bunny. Honestly, I'm fine if they charge the reskins as sapphires, but don't bring them 2 months in a row. Yes, they did also bring the Tyrannosaurus for November's update. The catch was that you could only get it if you paid real money. You couldn't just buy it with your sapphires. So the only two animals that came to the Sapphire store in October and November were just reskins of animals that are already in the game. And honestly, I'm not trying to complain and say that they need to bring a new animal every month, because they really don't. If they spent 2 months working hard on a new animal, I'd be happy. I'm sure it would look great and turn out great due to the time spent on it, and maybe the reskins are allowing them to do just that. But then again, we don't even need them. I don't care for them, it's just adding more animals to the game once they're duplicates of previous ones. And again, this has only happened twice now, so I'll cut it some slack, but just something I've noticed recently during the company swap and wanted to mention it. Another thing I wanted to mention, which isn't terrible, but still worthy of recognition, is how Animal Jam HQ are prioritizing members way more than they used to in Animal Jam Play Wild. Some of you may know that in Animal Jam Classic, that was the normal, and it was, and I'm sorry to any Classic players out there, I feel your pain. But it never really was an Animal Jam Play Wild, or I guess the mobile one to be exact. Everyone calls it Play Wild, even after the name swap years ago, it's just easier. Anyways, there are many features that are only for membership, such as the recent example allowing 2 pets to follow you instead of the regular just 1 pet. And it's just simple things like that, but a ton of them. So members do get a bunch of good features and perks in the game, so much so that people may get a little turned off. They might not be able to afford membership each month, and it may be a bit upsetting to see all the features that they don't get now. Although this isn't actually an issue, yeah, it's pretty upsetting for a lot of players, but it's a company and they do need to make their money somehow. I don't think having a membership system is all that wrong for that reason. The only reason I mention this is because so many people have been commenting it on my videos, and I do think it is happening, it is true. But yeah, I don't think it's actually terrible in any way, it just sucks. Now we are starting to enter territory that's a little more problematic, meaning it's not just annoying, but actually maybe a bit concerning or upsetting. Something bad that happened on Animal Jam recently was the bunch of people who got scammed out of their money when they bought the 3 dinosaur eggs for the November update. Again, I already made a video on this, but it should be mentioned as one of the huge blunders they've made recently. Okay, so it was a mistake. They didn't intend on actually scamming anyone. That is pretty obvious. Although, how did they let that happen? I'm sorry, but I just don't see this happening with other decently popular games. I say decently because Animal Jam is at a weird stage right now where it's not unpopular, but it's not exactly popular either. Anyways, I don't see how Animal Jam HQ let this happen. Be more careful with your game. This was a huge feature, one that was probably going to get a lot of players buying it, and lots did, and didn't even get the eggs and lost their money. You would think that they'd put really time and care and double check this one, right? But no. I think Animal Jam HQ has either paid everyone back now or let them redeem what they bought, but if they haven't, let me know in the comments because that is not okay. Either way, mistake or not, it's unprofessional and the main reason that intrigued me to make this video in the first place. The next thing is something a lot of people were upset about that I didn't even really notice at first. It's not awful like the last one I mentioned, but when you hear it you might think it's a little, I don't know if the word would be because I don't want to say sus for obvious reasons. Basically, Animal Jam HQ also decided to add another feature for their November update, this one being the free super box. And by looking at it, it seems to be a free super box. They try to make it very clear that it has the word free in it. Pretty damn clear if you ask me. It's not free. You have to buy membership in order to receive this quote-unquote free super box. And no. For all you sapphire hoarders or anyone with just a decent amount of sapphires, you cannot buy membership with sapphires to get this free super box. You have to buy the membership with your own money in order to also get the free super box. So it's borderline false advertisement because it says free all over the ad, and I personally don't like that because that's not free. It's not true. You have to buy something to get it. And other people were unsettled by this too. It's not a big deal, but it's just desperate, and I don't like seeing their advertising go this way. It's never been this false before. So no, the free super box is not actually free. Sorry to disappoint anyone. Another thing I wanted to cover is how Animal Jam HQ low-key fired a bunch of staff in the process when selling the company over to Nazra. They only kept 30 people employed at Wildworks, which means everyone else was likely out of a job immediately. And I've heard that there was around 200 plus, so you can only imagine. They mentioned this in the articles briefly, but if you don't think about it much, it could have just breezed past you. Why did they do this? Well, because they needed that sweet cash payout for their game. Honestly, I'm not even going to say too much about this one. It's life, it's real, people get fired, companies will be sold. It's kind of sad knowing that they left so many people without a job, people that had worked with them for so long and been loyal. But sometimes that's just how it is, and how it goes in these kinds of workplaces. I hope the best for anyone who did get fired so suddenly from Wildworks. I hope they all found new jobs someplace else. Something I want to mention is kind of old news, but still unfortunately relevant even in the new company swap, and that is how Animal Jam doesn't protect its players from groomers in the game. They still exist, and somehow are able to play and talk with kids. I've made videos on this subject already. I just think it's terrible that Animal Jam HQ won't do a thing to remove these players. They don't even try to ban them. They just let them roam their game freely. And then they'll easily ban other players for selling items or scamming people, which those things aren't good either, but they most certainly are not as bad as someone purposely trying to groom children on a kid's platform. Someone scams? Big deal. That'll hurt someone for maybe a week or two. Maybe a couple of days. Selling items? Honestly, I don't even really care. I wouldn't do it personally, and it is against the AJ rules, but I won't judge. Letting a groomer stay on the game when they can fully remove them? I mean, we clearly know that from how many bans they've made on others, that they can totally do that. How is that not the priority to ban? It's confusing to me. I just don't like it. It doesn't sit right with me. Not even a company swap was able to help this ongoing issue. Another issue that was also older news was when they had the data breach. Again, I made a video on this a while back, so I don't see why I'd go in too much, but it did happen a while ago, before NASA was even associated with their game. But basically, Animal Jam had a data breach which leaked a ton of personal information for anyone who signed up an account with the game. So everyone had to quickly try and change their passwords and information, or they could be at risk of being hacked. It wasn't a good moment for Animal Jam in the slightest. They had a low security system for a decently popular game. It's not crazy to assume someone might try to hack them. I don't know why they didn't crack up the security more, but they can't go back in time now. This was extremely unprofessional of them, and might have been the start to their downfall and issues in the game. Yes, they've had some bad things happen before the data breach, but this really topped the case at the time. The last thing I need to mention is something that's been happening to a few people on Animal Jam recently. This one is pretty bad too. I don't even understand how a company could handle a situation this poorly. Animal Jam has been taking money out of people's accounts for the membership subscriptions when these people didn't even get the membership or tried to buy it for themselves in the first place. I have no clue how this could be happening, although apparently it's occurred for a few people in the game now. For this person in particular that contacted me, they told me it all happened at once in one day, and it was a whopping 5 purchases. 42 times 5, that's $210 roughly. I didn't calculate all the cents and whatnot. And again, they didn't even try to buy membership or even receive it. And it's not possible to buy 5 memberships all at once. You can only have 1 membership. That doesn't make sense at all. They contacted Animal Jam HQ and told them about the situation, and apparently only got back $128. It's been 2 weeks and they're still waiting on the rest. Hopefully they'll get it back. And when they did email Animal Jam about it, they responded saying that they'll help them get their membership back when they never even bought it in the first place. How does something like this happen? That's all I want to know. If this has happened to anyone else or something similar to this, please do let me know in the comments, because I'm trying to figure out how many people were affected with this occurrence. I only know of just a few right now. I don't even know what to call it. Like, is it a glitch of the game or a terrible accident? I have no idea, but it's definitely not okay, and this is unprofessional of Animal Jam. And that leads us to the end of the discussion. This was definitely a longer video, but honestly, there was so much to discuss, it had to be. I really think Animal Jam is becoming unprofessional these days, and I want to know your thoughts on all this. Do you think they're unprofessional? Was there anything you particularly agreed with in this video, or perhaps something you disagree with that I mentioned? Let me know in the comment section. Also, don't forget to check out my merch. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. It's been Liam Puppy. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all next time.